Hi friends, it's Melinda and Ollie here again. We have a great conversation with my dear friend Lisa Huff today. She is a hairstylist and the owner of Stylist Soul Tribe. If you're a new listener, hi, I'm Melinda Jackson. I'm the founder of Melinda Jackson Public Relations, based in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm a Grammy and Emmy award-winning publicist. I've been in PR for 15 years. I pretty much specialize in helping position female founders as thought leaders, which is just a lot of jargon, honestly, to say that I make people famous. So that's what I do. But without further ado, listen to my awesome conversation with my friend Lisa, and we'll catch you at the end.
I was literally at a Smart Style inside of a Walmart doing like $17 haircuts. In 2016, I made $8,000 for the whole year. Sometimes I make that well over that in a week. And honestly, I didn't even become a coach to become a coach. I just was so obsessed with talking about business in the beauty industry specifically. It's just a quick recipe for burnout is what it is. Work forever, pay your dues, blah, blah, blah. Fast, messy action is like tattooed across my forehead. It's the only way I know how to be. There's so much ego, inner critic.
It's that old programming you have to work through.
Personal growth is just like never ending.
Me and you are both anti-girl bosses. I cannot even read a business book today because I'm like, fuck these people, they don't know.
If you do go super slow, super methodically, super planned out, newsflash, you never do it.
Visibility is currency. Okay, friends, we have Lisa here. I'm going to let her introduce herself. So go ahead, Lisa.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Melinda, for having me. My name is Lisa Huff. I am located in Central Illinois. I am a hairstylist by trade. And for the last 7 years, I have been building an online mastermind membership for beauty professionals called Stylist Soul Tribe, if you're watching on video. And I met Melinda and we hit it off and we had such a good time and I invited her to come to my in-person retreat in Colorado, and she came and she talked about PR and she led some hot seats.
It's only right that you come on my podcast after we met on your podcast, which I love. I know you and I have talked about this, but I truly went in blind to the retreat. So I had pitched a client to be on your podcast. They ended up not scheduling. Then you were like, hey, do you want to come on? I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? So I did. I knew enough about you and had talked to you enough, but then I go into the retreat and I'm like, oh wait, she's my person. She's never getting rid of me. But I don't know your backstory. So
For sure.
I just know random lore, but
Totally.
tell me born and raised, did you want to be a hairstylist?
Yeah.
What does that trajectory look like?
Okay, I'm going to start blabbing and you just interrupt
Yeah.
if I start going off on any wild tangents. Okay, so like I said, I'm in Central Illinois. I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. And I would say, I'm trying to think of what's relevant here, but I do think I'm going to go all the way back to childhood. I have always been friendship has always been really important to me. I am still best friends with the girls that I was best friends with when I was 4 years old. So friendship has always been so important to me. I have these few little memories that now make a lot of sense based on what I do for work. Is I remember in middle school, my dad having a really serious, stern conversation with me and being life isn't about your social circle, Lisa, or you don't go to school just to be social or blah, blah, blah. I just remember those little comments. And so that's always what was so much more important to me than school. My friends, my social life was always 1,000,000,000% more important to me than school. I was a decent student. I was a good test taker, but by the time that I was wrapping up high school, I was already dating my husband. At the time he was my boyfriend, but he was 3 years older than me, so he was already out of school. I had the worst case of senioritis. I was just I'm done with this. I hate this. Now I look back and I'm like, bitch, life was so easy.
Easy. Oh my
Why
God.
did you hate that so much? So it's wild to me when I look back at it. I was also a competitive cheerleader. We bonded over that. My sister was my
I'm going to
cheer
stop
coach.
you. I feel like the people that loved high school are the ones that peaked in high school. So if you didn't love high school, it's okay. That means you're a normal, real adult.
Very, very, very true. Yeah. I loved the time of life that high school was, but I hated school itself.
Yeah.
But I definitely wouldn't say that was my favorite time. There was definitely a lot of struggles during those years, but I was so ready to be done. I was so ready with school. So as we're, senior years approaching and the end of school is approaching, all your friends are talking about going to college and all of these things. And I had no idea. My parents didn't really push me into any direction. really at all. They were already like kind of divorced at that point. My sister was older than me and grown and gone. So I didn't feel, and like I said, I was dating my boyfriend at the time who was 3 years older than me, relapsed from a heroin addiction. Like life was kind of wild back then, but I was so not focused on school. So when I heard that there was an option to finish up my senior year by going half a day to gym class, foods, and language arts, and then piecing out and going to cosmetology school, I was like, sign me up for that. I don't know what all this is, but I cannot sit in this classroom anymore. Get me out of here. And I had a few friends that were doing it too, so I literally just did it because it was like, that sounds funner than being in school. At the time, I didn't think that far into the future. I didn't know if I would do this for forever, but I was not like super passionate even about hair. In cosmetology school, I was kind of a shithead then too. Then, all that being said, graduated cosmetology school, graduated high school. My husband and I found out I was pregnant very young. I became a young mom. I was pregnant at 19, had my daughter a month after I turned 20. And we obviously had like a come to Jesus moment of like, oh, we need to figure our life out. My husband was
we need to be adults.
Yeah, my husband was 3 months clean and in recovery from his heroin addiction after many years of dealing with the ins and outs of that. And I definitely think my daughter's like an angel sent from heaven and that she's the only reason we're both alive and who we are today. So we were like, we need to figure this out. My husband was working for my dad for a little bit, just I think out of pity. My dad owns a heating and air conditioning company, so he was like giving him some work to do. And then he was like, okay, well maybe I could go to school for heating and air conditioning. And so we looked into trade school for him, and they were like, you have a background, you really probably can't be going into people's houses, why don't you go into welding? And he was like, okay, I'll go into that. We bounced around for his job a little while with a baby in tow. We were so young, we were just like, but we quickly got out of our hometown. We moved to Central Illinois. Then we went to Louisiana for a few months. He worked in a shipyard there. We went to Panama City, Florida for like a year and a half. We were there. Back to Illinois, Texas. We just bounced around a ton. And then finally we were like, okay, our daughter's getting like old enough to go to preschool. We need to like put some roots down and we need to establish where we're going to be. So then we ended up putting roots down in Central Illinois, about 40 minutes from where I live right now. And that's when I was like, okay, I should probably take my business or career seriously. Like I should start thinking about what am I going to do with
And were you doing hair like when you guys were moving, or were you just like being a mom?
But I never like grew a clientele. So in Louisiana I didn't even transfer my license. Texas I didn't even transfer my license. We were in Florida for a year and a half, so I transferred my license there. I worked at a salon there, just like inside of a mall. Met some really good friends, enjoyed it, but like nothing serious at all. It was just kind of like, this is the skill I have, you know, let me see if I can get a job. But like working at cheap salons, not making any money at all. And then in 2016, I realized that we bought a house and we were like, okay, we're staying put. And this was like the rise of like the internet was like social media was starting. And like, I'm seeing all these like hairstylists on Instagram and like, ooh, there's this whole world of this. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I just like take this serious? Why don't
I try?
Yeah, I literally never even like was a thought in my head up until that point. And I was like, why don't I like try to do this? And I was literally at a Smart Style inside of a Walmart in Lincoln, Illinois, doing like $17 haircuts on not ideal target market people that I wanted to work with. And I was like, why don't I just like give this a go? And so I did just that, and I got real serious, and I really started networking in the online world and like growing connections of other hairstylists and beauty professionals and sharpening my skills. And I very, very quickly, as soon as I put like an ounce of effort in, built up a steady clientele, moved into my own studio suite. They followed me, and then I had a few years of just like rapid growth, like exploded growth. It was amazing. I was super duper duper in demand. I was raising my prices like crazy. I had this like amazing thing going, and then all the while I was documenting everything and sharing it on the internet, because I've always been very just interested and intrigued by social media and the internet. And I was just building up a following of hairstylists and beauty professionals, and I was getting super into personal growth at the time and reading all these books and listening to all these podcasts. And I would hear these podcasts where these people would be like, oh, I'm in a mastermind. And I'm like, how do I get in a mastermind? Oh, you need to be a 7-figure author to get in a mastermind. That doesn't work for me. Yeah. And so I'm like, why doesn't that exist for us? I became like addicted to business talk and just strategy and all the things you heard us talking about at the retreat. And so I just literally put out a post on Instagram. I think at the time I had like 1,400 followers, and I was like, I want to start a mastermind. If I can get 5 people that want to meet with me regularly to talk about our business, to talk about our life, to support each other, then like this will work. Who's in? I had like, I think 15 people originally be like, oh yeah, that sounds interesting to me. And I have not lost focus on that. And like, it's actually wild because sometimes you get these ideas and you like play with them for a little bit. I have been from that moment. I was reading a book called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert in that moment. I think I explained Big Magic to you a little bit, or no?
I have the book over here somewhere.
So good. And so she talks about how ideas are energy, and if the host that gets the idea doesn't bring it to life, it will move on to someone else. And so something about it, when that idea hit, and when I got like a tiny little bit of momentum, I was like, oh no, I'm doing this. And I have not gotten bored of it, and I just keep growing it and growing it and building it and pouring my all into it. And here we are,
literally
7 years later.
Yeah, 9 years ago, you were working at Walmart, which is like fucking wild to me.
No, I have an Instagram reel coming out where not that long ago, like 3 years ago, my husband was digging through our filing cabinet trying to find like a social security card or something. He found my W-2 from 2016. 2016, I made $8,000 for the whole year. Like that, and that was just the moment I was like, maybe I could like do something. And
meanwhile, like if I make that in a month, I'm like, I'm poor.
I mean, honestly, Melinda, sometimes I make that well over that in a week. Like, it's just mind-boggling to me now what this has all become and what this has turned into. So I still do hair a little bit. I still have a studio that I rent by the day with my best friend Riley, and I'm chilling. I love what I have built. I love what I've created. Most of the time I'm down here in my office just coaching, jamming, doing these kinds of things, and I love it.
Like, you're my mind. Like, I literally spent like almost a week with you in Colorado watching you coach these women, and I'm like, bitch, 9 years ago you were at Walmart making $8,000 a year. Like, if anybody can trust somebody, it's you. And you know, I am so like anti-coach and anti-mastermind and stuff, but like, it's because you and I have both seen all these people who have not done the work, that have had a coach that are like, wait, I can make money. And so then they become a coach. Like, you have not done that. You have literally been in the trenches. And it's like, you saw how quickly things started moving and paying off the second you actually got serious.
And honestly, I didn't even become a coach to become a coach. I just was so obsessed with talking about business. I was like, well, somebody like hang out with me and talk about it.
You did it so you wouldn't be alone.
And then it just continued to grow and continued to grow. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I should like scale back a little bit behind the chair, but I'm still not willing to let that go entirely. Financially, it makes no sense for me to do hair anymore, but I like to do it. I don't like sitting in an office in my basement every single day staring at a computer screen. I like interacting with clients, getting dressed, getting out of the house, practicing, you know, the art and the creativity of it still. So here we are.
I also think that it helps your credibility if you keep doing it. It doesn't mean you have to be in the salon all day, every day, but if you're still doing it actively from time to time, like you still have that you can talk about with your clients.
Yeah, you do start to become detached in some of these strategies. I honestly can even tell it a little bit even now, where I can so easily, like, sometimes I worry when I'm like coaching specifically. I love coaching to price increases, and I do it all on math and not on emotions at all. It's all based on data. But sometimes I will even like be so quick to be like, yes, you need to do this, you need to do this, without I like check myself and I'm like, easy for you to say, Lisa. Like, really, you know, I try to get down in that, because I do think once you get further and further away from that like daily grind of doing hair and trading time for money and these client relationships, lately that's been in my head of like, let me really get on this person's level and think about it in my own business, because I still get tripped up in my own business doing the things that all of these other people get tripped up about.
Yeah, and I think, like I was telling someone yesterday, you know, it's really easy for a coach or somebody to come to me and say, you need to be charging $10,000 a month. Like, you have a Grammy and an Emmy, you need to be charging $10,000 a month. Okay, well, where are those $10,000 a month clients going to come from? Yeah, like the everyday person can't do that. And not that my client is the everyday person, but like, I can't go from a couple $1,000s a month charging to $10,000 a month. Like, that's such a huge jump. And I know the price increases were things that were coming up when I was doing the one-on-ones with the women at the retreat. And I was having to do a lot of, I don't know, like personal growth around it with them, because they would say, well, Lisa is trying to coach me on price increases. And I'm like, okay, like, how does that make you feel? Is it scary? Why is it scary for you? You know, doing that instead of doing, you know, maybe telling them how to promote things, but you need to get that straight. You have to feel so comfortable in your fees and what your offer is before you can ever talk about it.
Totally, totally. And I think all things money. I mean, it's very, very rare that you meet somebody that is 100% healed when it comes to all
Yeah.
things, money. There's so many mental blocks that come up. There's so many stories that come up. There's so much ego, inner critic, like things like that come up around money specifically. So that's one thing that it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you see that everywhere. And it doesn't surprise me that that's where your guys' conversation went to. I feel like so much of entrepreneurship is just mindset work. I just had a call with my mentor today, and he was like really coaching me through some hardcore mindset stuff. And even as he was saying it to me, I was like, just like, damn, I feel like I've done so much work to hear you say that. It's like, whoa, but he was right. He was 100% right. I was blocked. I didn't realize it until he pointed it out, and then I realized it. And he's like, well, why are you even saying you've done so much work? Like, what does that even, why are you even saying that? And I'm like, okay, let me stop and think about that. I guess because I've done so much work and I realize I'm so different than what I used to be, and I've evolved so much that I assume I'm like this evolved version. But then when you realize, oh no, there's still so much more to learn, I guess my brain just goes to, my God, how much more is there? And like, that's such a trip. And that's probably why I have a headache right now, because that's been my day and what I've been like processing today. It's fascinating.
Well, and I won't say what we were talking about, but like when we were in the jacuzzi at the retreat, all other like retreat leaders were in the jacuzzi at the end of the day after everyone had gone to their cabins. And we were talking through some stuff, and you were resisting. And I was like, okay, girl, don't listen to me then. I don't give a shit. This is your business. I can't be bothered. Like, that's just how I am.
Yep.
And then the next day, like, we get up, and all I hear is you doing voice notes to your coach, and he's like, you got this, like, it's okay, and here's why you should do it like this or whatever. And I'm not saying I was right. I was right, but I'm not saying that. But
Melinda's like, that's exactly what I was saying to you.
It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. But I was delivering it in a way that wasn't supportive for what your needs were in that moment. And then you came back to me and you're like, I know why I was triggered by that. And I think that's so important. And like, even though we have successful businesses, like, and even though we coach people in different things, I'm not a coach, but obviously I mentor in a different way. But like, we still have a long way to go for our own mindset because things come up and you just shut down and you're like, shit. And it's that old programming you have to work through.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a trip. And even hearing you say that again, I'm like, what is with me lately? What is that blockage? And that's what Vincent said too. He's like, don't overthink that part specifically. Be happy that you're aware of it and that you're learning from it. So personal growth is just like never ending. It's always something next level, next devil, next challenge. Like, and I do find it very fun. I find it very fascinating, intriguing. It is like almost a hobby to me, but it's just so interesting to like psychoanalyze and zoom in on and study. And
I love that you're so deep into this stuff, because I think I got a little jaded from all of it. And like, granted, we come from very different backgrounds, and like, I think I was already jaded when I started my business, and I was jaded, so I started a business, like working in big agencies and things like that. And then I feel like I got so deep into the girl boss culture, which me and you are both anti-girl bosses, but like, so got so deep into that, and I was like, fuck everything, fuck it. Like, I cannot even read a business book today because I'm like, fuck these people, they don't know. I wish I could be more like you in some of that stuff, and I probably should. I should probably like.
Did you have a period of time where you loved it and then you got jaded, or did you never really love it?
No, I loved it. Like, I love it. I loved it, and I still love it to an extent, but I think for me,
you can see through it.
I see so much, especially in what I do, like in PR. Every influencer thinks they can be a publicist. So the pipeline is some random girly becomes an influencer. They get a lot of things going. They're making a little bit of money, and they're like, well, I'm going to help businesses. I'm going to be a business's publicist. And I'm like, you actually don't even know what PR is, because all the stuff that you're saying is PR is not PR.
Yeah.
And then they're overcharging and under delivering. So then I get the people that have no money, and they're like, help me, please. I'm poor, So I just got anti that, or going to these conferences where the only people that are speaking are influencers who then started a business.
It becomes very detached from reality. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm like, I started a business because I fucking hated being in agencies, and I have 3 followers. Like, and I'm still successful. I still have a Grammy and an Emmy. I have all these things, but I don't have 7 figures. And apparently it's shameful not to have 7 figures in a lot of these circles. So that's why I just get But I
And
feel
you
like
told me the story, and I think you shared it on here, but even
Yeah.
like when you like paid a ton of money to hire a coach and they
Oh,
gave you
yeah.
this like terrible advice,
Yeah.
that'll do it. That'll do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Like I had a coach and I was in a mastermind. And
Mm-hmm.
the coach was a coach just to be a coach because she had a fucking coach.
Yeah.
Like it was so stupid. And I
It
kept
does
telling her,
almost
like,
become MLM-like.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. For me, it's like they have to understand that sometimes I'm going to have some that's just a project, like
Yeah.
a client for a month, and sometimes I'm going to have clients for the rest of my life. It just
Yeah.
depends on the situation, and I have to price things differently or whatever. People don't understand that, and everyone says, "Make a course, make a course, make a course." Okay, I don't need to make a course. Like
Yeah.
I can figure things out,
Yeah.
and then the masterminds of it all. Fart noise. Anyway, okay. I love to ask this. What's the like worst business advice you ever received, or that you've like heard?
Let me think on that for a second before, and I should have thought about that ahead of time. I did watch your episode where you shared all of the ones from
With
your
the girlies.
in-person one. Yeah. Worst piece of business advice. Nothing is like quickly in this moment coming. I guess, okay, I'll go a couple different routes. I think my industry specifically, so this isn't going to relate to everyone, but maybe it will. My industry specifically has very just like Stone Age bad practices. Just like you have to work nights and weekends, you have to pay your dues, you have to this, you have to that, and it's like this like Russian doll where like this old school stylist mentors this younger one, where all the like bad advice gets passed down. Just like it's just a quick recipe for burnout is what it is in the beauty industry specifically. Like you'll never go to your kids' sports things, you'll never go to birthday parties, you can't make any money if this isn't what you do, like work forever, pay your dues, blah blah blah. I have DMs with stylists every single day of like, I built this business, it's so successful, but like I love helping people scale back. So I would say probably that, just like pay your dues, you have to work these schedules, you have to do these things that people pay.
Well, and that was agency life. That was agency life. And like, don't ask for more money. They'll give you more money if they think that you need it. Meanwhile, you're working 20.
I'm sorry. At what point do you make so much money that you're like, here, have a little bit more? No,
Exactly.
That's not a thing.
No.
Yeah. So I would say that is like what I think is related to my industry, but it sounds like probably with a lot of industries. And so I really found a way that you didn't have to burn out and it didn't have to be like that. And of course, there's a little bit of a grind to get there. You either care about speed or you care about slow and steady and getting there. But like, if you want speed, then you have to, I guess, have a little bit of sacrifice until you get to the desired results. And then once you're in demand, you have the leverage to start to build your business around what you want it to be. Or you can just build slower. And if that's okay, and if that meets your life and your needs, I think that's all. Like you're saying, you don't need to be a 7-figure person. You're not willing to like sell your soul to the devil to do that. Yeah. You're not willing to give up the things that are important to you. So you can just go slow and end up at the same result as well. And then I think what was in your video and what stood out to me and what I can tell you and I are so similar in this way is just the like perfectionism, wait, pause, prepare, fast, messy action is like tattooed across my forehead. It's the only way I know how to be. Sometimes it bites me in the ass ever so slightly, but honestly, all it does is lead to a lesson that I needed to learn and would eventually learn faster. And I like short feedback loops. I like just getting in, grinding, getting dirty, figuring it out. And I think that's just in my DNA. I don't think I choose to be that way. I don't think people can choose whether they're like that or not, because I try to coach people who are not wired that way. And I'm like, just fucking do it. Just do it.
And that was something that was coming up a lot when I was doing the like hot seat sessions. Some of these people I wanted to cuss out and be like, girl, zoom out. Like, we're not curing cancer. It's okay. Like, this is fine. But like, you and I are so similar in that way. We can just be like, fuck it, I'll try. I'll try. Like, because I just keep going back to, I moved to LA with $500. I made it work. I can do anything. You know, like this podcast. Messy action.
Figure it out.
Most of what I do.
Yep.
Messy fucking action.
Yep. Yeah, no, so I would say those are especially if I hear other people give that business advice, maybe there's a time and place for it, but that's not what you're ever going to hear out of my mouth because that's not what's true to me. Because like I said, if you do go super slow, super methodically, super planned out, newsflash, you never do it. I know, I've been coaching people for years that have been saying the same thing and haven't taken action on it. And two, no matter how much preparing you do on the back end of launching anything, what you would run into, whether you did it fast or slow, you're going to run into anyway. And that lesson is a blessing. And I just see so many people almost create like their own like feedback loops that don't even exist of like, oh, well, what if this happens? I need to fix this. What if this? What if this? Just fucking run it and see what happens and then fix it as you go. That's my thought process with everything.
I feel like we could take over the world. We would get on some people's nerves, but I feel like we could. Okay, so like I know you're a big dreamer and manifestor like me. So like what is like this big, scary goal that you have right now?
Ooh.
Because I know you probably have some.
Yeah. I would say my vision right now is very clear on scaling my business. I don't want to use the word stuck. I think I've been where I needed to be grinding, learning for the last few years, but I've been staying in a kind of similar space, just growth-wise. And I think I need to learn how to like let go of a little bit of control and outsource a little bit. And I do see that my vision and my mission that I started so long ago is still very important and does still have a place in this market. So my vision right now is like scaling that. And so I'm bringing on, I don't know if we talked about this at all when you were there, but I'm bringing on what I'm calling the board of support. Coaches didn't feel appropriate to me. That didn't feel right to me. I didn't like the hierarchy of that. But there are people who have been in Soul Tribe for years who probably will give better advice than me a lot of the times. So I have asked those people to almost like a board of directors have like a, you know, it will rotate, it will flow. People will come in and out of it, but to help support and give back so that I'm not constantly on coaching calls being the only one answering, because I do realize there's so much value in other perspectives. So my big goal and vision is just to kind of figure out how to, I feel like I have the concept and the outline of it. I'm now starting to trickle some things through it, make sure it runs, see how it goes. But then once I get that dialed in, I would love to serve as many people as long as it's still valuable and the core of what I've created doesn't get lost along the way in that.
Yeah, I love that. And keep doing the retreats, obviously. And I think like we all talked about it a lot. You've had massive retreats and you've had smaller retreats, but like keeping the retreat small and super intentional, I think is the best idea. I mean, I had the most fun. I told you guys you're never getting rid of me now, and I have to come to all of them, even if I'm just lurking in the bushes.
That's so funny. I do have some friends that have said that. I told you about Kylie. She didn't come this year, but she came the year before, and she was like, Lisa, I don't care if I'm cleaning up trash. I don't care if I'm the bartender, if I'm the DJ, but I'm going to be there. So yeah, I'm just collecting friends along the way, and it's making these experiences even better.
Let's go. And I'll tell the story about my presentation and how I full spiraled out. So first off, Lisa, like again, go into this blind. I didn't know her like that. We had talked a couple times. We had sent voice notes back and forth.
Looking back, should we have prepared more or no?
No. No, we were fine because we're the same person.
I know.
It's fine.
Well, when you said I'm not going to make slides and stuff because that'll just make me anxious, I'm like, wait, I have that. Whatever you just said, I have that.
Yeah. So Lisa was like, here's a picture of the TV. I'm like, okay, girl. And you're like, do you need to do, also, we didn't turn on a TV the whole time we were there. Like,
but I didn't know if
you
you were going to want to like present with slides.
No. Yeah. And you were like, do you want to present? Like, do you have slides? I was like, no, I'm just going to pull this out of my ass. And you're like, okay, girl. And I thought, oh my God, is she going to think that I am like crazy? I don't care. I'm locked in now. She can't get rid of me. So I get up there and it's Monday morning and it's like the first full day that we're there really at the house. And I start just talking about PR and doing my little song and dance. And I look at every one of these people's faces and they are fucking dead to the world. And I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God. And you're the only one asking questions, which thank God, you know, you're leading it a little bit and prompting me some. And I'm just looking and these people, like I can just hear their internal monologue being like, what the fuck is she saying? Because it's all hairstylists and salon owners. And they're like, we don't have that. Nope. I'm from a town of 2 people. No. And I'm just like, oh,
well,
God.
Can we go back to though this mental thing and being blocked? Because I'm telling you, Melinda, I've gotten surveys. Everyone loved it. So that's a story in your own head.
I know. But like looking back, it's like, it's early in the morning. I'm giving them something they had never fucking heard before. And they were just like, what the fuck? And I understand because I've been in situations like that where your wheels are turning, you're like, whatever. So I just go up to the room. I called Jeremy and I'm like, these people fucking hate me. They all hate me. And I have to, Yes, I sneak up to the room and I'm like, they fucking hate me. And he's like, no, they don't. No, they don't. Like, Melinda, they're hairstylists. They don't do PR. Like, it'll be fine. I was like, they fucking hate me. And then I go in the hot seats and I'm about to cry. I'm like, it's fine. Who cares? And then it ended up being fine. And they were all like, we love you. And the people that were confused by things pulled me to the side. We talked about it and it was okay. But that was me.
Yeah, looking back, could we have maybe explained what PR for hairstylists would have been so we could have gotten to the meat of that? I don't know if that would have been helpful or not.
There's nothing that we can do about it now.
That's why we take fast messy action, and then for the next one we just have some experience to build off of.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
But I will say surveys say that everybody's obsessed with you.
Good. They better.
So I don't know
most of them followed me on the internet, so that's good. I got some followers.
No, but I don't know about you. Okay, let me hear this. You do all these events and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess. Do you usually like get the crowd going? Like, because I also am terrified of public speaking. I don't know how you feel about it or not, but for that reason of like, how do you work the crowd? How do you get people to be into that?
Oh, if people are not like giving me what I want, I'll just start cussing them out. Like, because at our events, so I have like 35 to 50 people at my events. I literally have one tonight. And if they're still talking, I will get on the microphone and I'll be like, y'all need to shut the fuck up. I'm talking. Let's be nice.
That
y'all
is
being
honestly,
rude.
can I say, I loved your PR and I loved your ability to host hot seats, but the way that you just directed everyone was maybe the most valuable part of having you there. And
Herding
I was
cats.
this too. It was almost like a little good cop, bad cop. I don't want to cuss them out and yell at them, but it's kind of nice if you are, because who cares?
Listen, I told everyone this story. Like, the Kardashians aren't mean to people. They send their assistant to be mean to people. I will be your assistant to be mean to people.
There you go.
So, yeah, like, that's literally what I do. I'll get up there and I'll say, okay, everybody shut up. Y'all need to shut up. And, I mean, my mom has always done this because my mom is just like me, like, very loud, very aggressive. And so that's what she's always done. So I'm like, it works for Nancy. It'll work for me.
Oh my
so
God,
that's
my
what I
mom's
do.
name is Nancy too. We have so many weird synchronicities.
No.
Yes, I am also
Not so Nancy. I'll call her Not So Nancy or Fancy Nancy, because she is a full glitz diva, extreme Southern woman. Okay, like in her Chico's outfits.
Funny.
So yeah, Nancy Gale is very aggressive, and so am I. So that's how I get over it. And like, I get a little anxiety when I'm public speaking. Like this weekend, I was in New York. I had to be on this panel. I'm on this panel with two other women who do PR, but completely different than I do.
Okay.
They do like pay to play stuff that I am not into. We aggressively do not agree on things.
Is that like a weird dynamic, or that was good?
It was on the pre-call, and I mean, they're not going to listen to this. If they do, I don't give a shit. But it was on the pre-call. So I literally call Sarah, who I'm doing this event for, and I'm like, they were, no, this ain't happening, girl. Like, this is not fun. And so I had so much anxiety, like, going up to it. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit in the first seat beside of the like lady that's leading the panel, and I'm just gonna have the first answer out the gate, and I'm gonna start this thing
because you didn't want your answer to directly go against what they say.
Exactly. Yeah. And so she said, Melinda, visibility in one word. And I don't know where this came from. It came from God. It came out of my butt. I don't know. But I said, visibility is currency. Everyone starts clapping and screaming. I don't know what I said. I literally had to look it up on ChatGPT. Like, does this even make sense? And it was like, yeah, it can. I'm like, sure. Okay, I'm PR in this answer. Yeah. Then the other two ladies said something that was so similar to that, but like I had already done the mic drop in the first thing out the gate.
Everyone just kept
then they just had to like figure it out, and it was so awkward. And then one of the ladies said something that directly like did not go with what I had to say. And so I was like, we talked about this on the pre-call. I think you think we disagree. We don't actually disagree, and here's why. And then I like laid it all out, and it was like,
I also do think that for a panel, it would be a disservice to the audience if we had everybody that was exactly on the same page. We need different opinions because it's not one size fits all.
Yeah. Well, this lady said thought leadership is bullshit, and I was like,
I'd love to know her further explanation on that. That's interesting.
She's saying that you shouldn't just be a thought leader. You should completely embody it and own it. And I was like, that's what I do with my clients. I make sure they embody it and they own it. That's why you work with a publicist, to make sure everything is cohesive. And she's like, oh, you're right. I'm like, yeah, so don't say thought leadership is bullshit.
I mean, just those words alone, shouldn't there be thought leaders? What would be a world without thought leadership?
Yeah. And I was like, it's not just some old man that's just corporate and talking. It's like thought leadership, you have to embody it. You have to, like, it has to be your whole brand. Anyway, so I was terrified to do that, but I gave myself a game plan, and then I was fine, and it was okay.
And it all worked out.
Yeah. But
and you got because of it.
I think, like, I could do a fucking college commencement speech and not even be afraid.
I don't know how you do that.
I don't either.
I don't know why I get so afraid, because I think I'm almost so used to talking into a computer, and I can host live things with tons of people, but in person, this retreat I was much less nervous. It was a smaller group. When I have to talk into a microphone, I don't know what happens. I just get it's like a physical reaction. I can't even help it. My stomach gets so nervous.
We will work on this for you. We'll figure it out.
I would love that.
But so many people are like that. Like, huge celebrities are like that. That's why, like, a lot of times you'll see a celebrity interview and they're shit in the bed. Like, they're so bad at it. It's because they're used to pretending to be somebody. But when it's themselves, they're like, shit. Happens all the time. Cool. Well, I don't know what else I have to tell you or say to you or ask you or whatever.
I don't know if I have a ton of other thoughts either, other than, like, how's life? What's happening with you? What's next on your agenda?
Well, this is a podcast, not a Zoom call. So I don't want to tell everyone my business. No, I want to know, what was your favorite thing I did at the retreat or said? Like, is there anything that I did that, like, stood out to you or that you learned from me? Well, when you just said
abundance is, visibility is currency. When you just said that, I remember you saying abundance is my birthright after the, and that felt like that came from God or your Bible or something.
I know. Yeah. So that came, like, I had, like, a weird download. So we're all around the fire. Okay, I think I'm low-key kind of, like, Appalachian psychic or something. Okay. Like, whatever these, like, Southern ladies are, that's me. But, like, we're all around the fire. We're doing our releasing ceremony. And I don't care. I'll say it. Like, I said that, you know, my parents' lack mentality and scarcity mindset is not my own. And I wrote down all this stuff. And we were burning it, and then we're all just sitting there, and I just heard in my head, abundance is my birthright. And I was like, guys, I just got this download, abundance is my birthright. Yeah. And then I went home and I wrote it in my journal. I've written it, like, as my mantra a million times now. But that's when I'm saying to myself, like, abundance is my birthright. I don't have to be afraid to make money or ask for money. And abundance is in so many different forms. That trip was so abundant. I didn't make money from that trip, but that trip was so abundant in so many ways. We're out in nature, and we're having community, and you and I are so extroverted. We thrive on community, and like, that's so abundant, you know?
Yeah. No, and so that stood out to me, and then when I heard you say visibility is currency, it felt very much another, like, one of those one-liners of yours that come in sometimes, and I love when you share that. Like I said, you herding the cats was so incredibly helpful, because Kristen and I and Danielle don't really have that in us.
Y'all are so nice.
We are like way too nice. I don't know what that is about. I think I need to just, like, hang out with you a little bit more and pick up on some of that.
Like, people are standing in the rain getting headshots done, and I was like, y'all need to go in. Stop standing out here. Y'all need to hurry up. It's pouring ass rain. Stop.
And, like, on the bus and stuff, I was so worried about the bus ride because I'm, like, a little baby and I get car sick. And as soon as you sat down in the center, so I know everyone can hear you, I'm like, Melinda's got this. I can rest.
I got it. So I am a cruise director, okay?
Yeah, you are a cruise director. I loved that. I loved bringing my people just new thoughts, just a new fresh perspective that they wouldn't get anywhere else. I like just facilitating a room with different brains that just are going to take it in a direction that maybe you've never gone before. Maybe your brain has never went before. So I really enjoyed that. I obviously loved my hot tub hot seat, even if I was crashing out a little bit. It was a very necessary crash out. Like, I appreciate that you guys went through that with me because I needed to go through that. And those are, like, my peaks. Oh, and I think just, like, hearing your gratitude through all of it, because obviously it was hard not to. Like, the views were stunning. But you really just, like, grounded me in, like, remembering, like, how special this is and, like, be present in this. Because sometimes when I'm facilitating those things and I'm hosting, it's just, like, a lot of pressure. There's a lot of logistics I have to remember. Something about your energy just, like, grounded me in it. And you're like, you guys, like, you'd always be like, stop and, like, look around. Appreciate what we are experiencing right now. Yes.
The meese, the moose. Guys, we shit ourselves. And then we called them elk, but they were moose, whatever. We're not National Geographic,
It was really incredible.
It was a little mama and a baby, and it was so cool.
Well, and did you hear that mooses are like aggressive? And so like if we would have been walking, that would have been a little bit scary. We had the perfect view to see them so perfectly from such a safe distance because we were up on a balcony. It was so perfect.
And one thing I just remembered, like that one of those mornings that we were there, I did a meditation, and in my meditation, it came to me. It's like this is your manifestation. Like where are you at? Like you have manifested this. You don't have to be anywhere but present right now because this is the manifestation. You're here in Colorado. You're surrounded by mountains. You're with all these people. You're serving. Like there's A-frame cabins. Like all of it.
Yeah.
And so that it was just really special to me, and I didn't want to come home, but then I had to.
I know. I will forever. I've loved all my retreats. That was my 5th retreat I've done, and I can like close my eyes and put myself back in every single room so easily. But that was hands down just the mixture of who was there, where we were, just how everything aligned all at once. I think back and I'm just like waking up in the morning, seeing that view, smelling the mountain air. It was so special. It was so good. So,
well, thank you for trusting me and allowing me to go and be a part of it. You're never getting rid of me. And now I feel like we need to figure out a retreat for me to do.
Heck yeah.
But, we'll have to talk to Danielle about it. That's her situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, tell us where to find you on the internet.
You can find me on the internet at Lisa Huff Hair. Huff, Lisa Huff Hair. Stylist Soul Tribe is like my other Instagram account that I don't post on as much, but it's the business account. And that's where you can find me.
And your podcast.
I have a podcast called Stylist Soul Tribe Conversations. It definitely is geared towards beauty professionals, but we jam on all sorts of shit. So
yeah.
Yeah,
well, you never know who's listening.
True.
My 50 subscribers. So we're going viral, baby.
Love it.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, Lisa. Ollie and I love you so much.
I love
And we'll
you and
talk
Ollie
to
so
you
much.
later. All right, friends. That was Lisa. Don't you love her? She's the best. And hopefully, fingers crossed, she lets me come back to her other retreats because we had the most fun and she's literally never, ever going to get rid of me. So please like and subscribe to her podcast if you feel called to do so. Look her up online. Just support her. Let's support other fellow female founders. And with that, we'll see you next time. We'll see you next week. I have to go and host an event now. Like and subscribe to my podcast. It's Unhinged. Da, da, da.